Well, hello. Welcome back if we've met before. If we've not met before, I'm Tiffany, and I'm a senior HR manager who moonlights as a mobile notary. That is my side hustle of choice right now. I've been doing resumes, interview prep, that kind of thing. If you're interested and are looking for some tips on how to navigate the work world and get your resume together, then come follow me on my Instagram page, which is pitch.hr. But if you want to know more about my mobile notary side hustle, then stick around here because there will be more content surrounding specifically that. So basically, I just wanted to come in and update you on how the business has been going. I just checked in, on Friday? Today's Monday, the 25th. And actually, was that Friday? I don't know. Like I said, what is time anymore? What is time? I don't know. But things are still going pretty well. I did 3 signings this weekend. 2 of them were passport forms. The third was a power of attorney. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. I did have one scheduled for today, which was going to be another power of attorney. However, they canceled on me at the last minute today. So I'm going to talk about that too. Matter of fact, I'm going to start with that and then we'll go backwards to the weekend. So I had someone call me this afternoon. They said, hey, can you come now to sign this? I said, no, I can't come now, but I can come. I can leave home about 5 because I'm actually working today. I have a meeting I can't miss. Then I can be there by 5:30. He said, perfect. Come at 5:30. Cool. I said, I'll text you when I'm getting ready to leave. So I actually finish up about 15 minutes early today with work, and I say, hey, I can get there a little earlier, actually. How does that work for you? I can be there by 5:15. No response. They'd given me a second number, so I said, well, let me text that number. No response. I called both numbers. One sent me the voicemail, but no response from either one of them. I just got a response from them at about 6:15. One of them said, oh, well, we took it to somebody else. It'd be nice if they would have told me that. I wasn't going to chase that $25, but that's part of the pitfalls of mobile notary work. So my advice to everyone will be is you do not leave the comfort of your sofa in your home without a text confirmation that things are still going to go as planned. Because let me tell you right now, I would have been pissed if I would have gotten there and nobody was there. If they were like, oh, we got somebody else to sign it. I can't stand stuff like that. If you make an appointment with someone, if you're going to cancel, then tell me that you're going to cancel. I shouldn't have had to reach out to them multiple times just for someone to say that they were canceling. They knew they were going to cancel and that they didn't need me the moment they decided to take the form to someone else. So that's just my little rant about that. But it's okay. No time was lost on my part. Now, the only thing I did that irritated me is I had gone and put on real pants. Don't have me putting on real pants if you don't need me. I don't wear real pants at the house. So that's enough on that. Now let's backtrack a little bit to this weekend. Like I said, I did 2 passport forms and 1 power of attorney. The first passport form was half in Italian, half in English. It was actually for my friend, so I wasn't concerned about it at all. She has 3 passports, 1 Italian, 1 Canadian, 1 US. And it was something, I can't remember exactly what the form was for, but it was basically, I think, so their 2 kids could have their passports. I think it's one of those forms like they need someone to confirm that these are the parents are both present, and that this person is not trying to kidnap their child and take them to another country, right? The second passport form I did was not too far away from me, but it was further than where I'd like to go because it required me to get on the expressway. That one I should have charged a little more, honestly, but pleasant people. It was a passport form so that they can get U.S. passports for their 2 minor children. Again, have to just make sure both parents present, signed, whatever. They're not trying to kidnap this kid and take him out the country. Well, 2 boys. So that was quick and easy. The third one was the power of attorney. Now that was a little heavy. I'll tell you, Sunday I got a call in the morning about 9 o'clock. I get the call. It's a woman saying that they're looking for a notary. And long story short, her friend has been informed she only has weeks to live. And so she's coming in from out of town, as well as this person's family members, to kind of help her take care of her final affairs. And so I said, okay, well, is she coherent? Like, because I can't sign anything if she can't confirm that, this is what she wants to happen. And they're like, no, she can respond. She can talk to you a little bit, but she's kind of in and out. I said, okay, well, I'll come. What time do you want me to come? They wanted me to come at 3 p.m. because they wanted to make sure everybody could get in town. Now, apparently they had issues with her printer. So they were trying to print off a form. They couldn't. So as they're talking to me, I said, well, you know what? I can print off a good one for you. I've got 2 printers here. I'll print off a couple copies for you. I'll bring them to you, and I'll email you the form I'm going to send to you so that y'all can talk about it amongst yourselves before I get there. So I get there, and they inform me that they're not done talking through all the specifics. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, it's not a big deal because I'm only 10 minutes away from them. So they're like, well, this is a little unorthodox, but like, we have food. Like, do you want to come in? They were super, super nice people. I was like, no, COVID, no, I can't just be coming in. They were really nice. But I said, I'll tell you what, I'll go back home and then you all just let me know when you're done and I'll come back. So I came home, I ate, and then they called me about an hour later and I went back. Now, before I left, I actually received a message from both my mother and my sister. And this message was, I can't remember if it was a news article or where it was from or if it was from the CDC. But pretty much they're saying you need to start double masking up, especially here in Georgia because our numbers are ridiculously high. And that's because we don't have real rules. I mean, if you come to Atlanta, it looks like there's no such thing as a pandemic. You can go to the club, you can go to the restaurants. You could be in these streets, you could have a pool party, and the businesses have to be the ones to say that they want people to adhere to certain rules, right? So I'm like, crap, now I got to go back to this house where I've already said I will come and take care of this. So I double mask up. So I put on my, the disposable mask. I tend to get these. It's best if you can get them from a medical supply company. So I put on one of my disposable masks, and then I put my cloth mask over it, not my tri-ply, not the triple layer one, but like my double layer one. So I put that on top, and actually it might be triple layer too. So needless to say, I get there, they take me right in. I'm already a little warm. I get hot pretty easily. So I get upstairs. I had to go up like 2 flights of stairs because it's like a 3-story townhome. I get upstairs. I go in her bedroom, and there are about 5 or 6 people in there, talking to her, holding her hand. They're letting her know that that's why I'm here. So I introduce myself. I'm like, hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm the notary here to help with your paperwork today. And, she says hello and everything. It's kind of weak, but she says hello. And there are 2 witnesses there who are going to sign as well. So now this is where things go a little crazy for me. And not crazy and like as in they did something, but just for me personally, it went a little crazy. So I'm digging through my bag to get everything out. And I have 2 clipboards. So I get the 2 clipboards ready with the documents. They've started filling out some of the stuff while we're standing there. While we're talking, one of the witnesses remembered something I said earlier and was like, should I record this? I was like, yeah, it doesn't hurt. Go ahead and record the whole thing, just in case somebody decides like they want to fight this down the road, just go ahead and get it on film. And as we're filling out the paperwork and filming and all of this, I look down and I'm like, what is this on my arm? I'm bleeding. I don't know what happened, but there's like a full-on little baby gash on my arms, and there's blood dripping down on my arm, and there's blood dripping on my arm, and I'm like, oh my God. So I've got my shirt, luckily I had on a black top, and I'm like this trying to dab the blood off, and I'm like, I don't even know how this happened. I'm hoping nobody notices because it's really weird to just be bleeding in somebody's bedroom. And yeah, I don't know what happened. Like, what was in my bag that cut me? I have no idea. Now, granted, my bag is huge and I got all kinds of stuff in there, but I can't think of anything in particular that's sharp enough to cut me. Like, I don't know. So I dab it until like it's as least noticeable as possible. But then one of the witnesses was like, "Ooh, you bleed." And I'm like, oh my God. Mind you, this is all on film. And I'm just like, oh, it's okay. Sorry. I don't know. I cut myself on something. And the woman who the power of attorney is for, her comforter is white, and all I'm thinking is, did I just drip on her comforter? It didn't look like I did, but it's just really crazy. And then also at the same time, like I said, I get hot easily. It was already warm in the house. I don't know if it's because there were so many people or if they're keeping it warmer for her so she's comfortable. So I'm starting to feel like, okay, I'm hot. I've got on these 2 masks, and I'm like, am I about to pass out? Like, I felt like I was about to pass out for a couple seconds. I did not pass out, thank goodness, because that would have been beyond embarrassing. But I'm just kind of like, you ever have that moment where you feel like, okay, something's not right. Like, what's my brain isn't connecting properly? I don't know if it was the 2 masks or the heat. I really think it was a combination. And then me kind of being not on edge, but being a little antsy about being in someone's home in the first place. And then I'm in the home and we're not really social distancing. And then 1 or 2 people had taken off their masks. I mean, they opened the window, but there was too many things. And like I said, they were a really, really pleasant family. But I was just like, oh my gosh, there's so many things. And then I'm hot. And why am I bleeding, Lord? Like, what's going on? And then, just emotionally seeing someone who's not that much older than me in this state, and the whole reason why I'm here is because she's losing her life every moment as we speak. Like, it's very sad, and I'm not making light of that at all. There was just so many things going on in my head, and I was like, please just don't let me pass out in here, because I don't know these people, and I do not want them to have to worry about me passing out when they're here trying to help their loved one. So, I'll just say we made it through the signing. We made it through. But before we made it through the end, I was hit with some questions that I didn't really have the answer for. So the first thing was at the top of the form. Now, this form was not identical to one that I'd had to have completed for my dad a couple years ago, but it said, blank, the person's name, principal of blank, gives this right to blank of blank. And I was like, what's this second blank business about? Principle of what? And I tried to make sense of it, and then I said, you know what, let me look it up. I should have looked that up before I even got here, but I was running around. But I Googled the form, like where I got the form from, and it ends up that it was just the address. It just had to be her address. So the person is the principal, and they're the principal of their home address. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. So we made it through that. Then the next part of the question was, well, you have to but she has to initial next to each item that she wants her attorney in fact, and the attorney in fact is the person that you're appointing with that document. Like, which rights do you want the attorney in fact to have? It can be access to banking. There were like 8 different things. To be able to pull out loans. Do you want them to be able to buy and sell property on your behalf? Do you want them to be able to contact your employer? All these things to adjust beneficiaries. And the question was, well, they wanted her to have all the rights but one. And I think it was like lending rights, like to be able to take out a loan in her name. So the question was, do we leave it blank if we don't want her to have the right? Or do we put a line through it? Or do we put an X through it? Or does that X become confused with we want her to have the right, even though they say initial? And I don't have the answer. I don't even know if I gave him the right answer. I said, if it were me, I'd probably put the line through it, just because I feel like if something's blank, then anybody can come and fill it in or put an initial in. And so we decided to go with that. Was that right? Like I said, I do not know. Again, I'm slightly lightheaded. I'm hot. I'm trying to keep it together, touching my ear because I think that's supposed to do something. I don't know. And I halfway can't breathe. So then we get to the end and I'm actually stamping and it doesn't stamp all the way, even though I'm on my clipboard. So I'm like, golly. So I stamp it the second time. And of course now it looks stupid because I've double stamped and it's like not perfectly aligned. And I was like, that's okay. The second one is very, very clear. So I just go ahead and stamp the second page. And I'm like, look, I can't. Like, at this point, they've already messed up the first copy of the form. So I was like, this is it. Like, I'm stamping this page. And so that also had me feeling hotter because now I feel like I'm on stage, I'm on camera, I'm bleeding. I just double stamped this form. But I made it. So yeah, we got the form signed And like I said, the family was really, really nice. They kept talking to me afterwards. And again, I'm hot, and I don't want to tell them that I'm so hot that I like have to go outside. But as I'm standing there talking, I'm like, I think I'm about to pass out, but I don't. And yeah, it was okay. We made it. We survived the stamping of the power of attorney form. And the last thing was, as I was leaving, they were like, oh, well, do you have cards? We could give cards to people. And I was like, I don't actually. I never ordered any. And they kind of made a joke about it. They were like, now you've been so professional up until this point. Where are your cards? And I was like, I just didn't order any, I'm usually just kind of in and out. Nobody ever really wants to have an order, so I am going to order cards. That is the lesson about that. Get cards and don't pass out. Yeah. So that was the weekend as far as the number of signings I did and what those signings were like. Hopefully next weekend is better. Hopefully I have more appointments this week because I really want to make it to the $600 mark to start. Outside of that, I want to tell you real quickly, I did make 2 purchases this weekend for my business. One, I got a magnetic car mount. So I'm going to be installing this tomorrow morning, actually. The lighting's a little weird. But I couldn't find all the pieces to the old one I used to have, and I didn't really like it that much. But this one is just supposed to be magnetic, and I can tap my phone on it, and it'll stick with the sticker. My old one, you have to clamp it in there. So I'm going to be using this because when I'm using my GPS, you can't have your phone in your hand in Georgia. You just shouldn't have your phone in your hand anyway because it's a distraction. I'm also getting my notary sweatshirts for me to wear when I go to appointments, because if I meet someone out in a public place, it's kind of hard to tell them like, hey, it's me. I'm kind of short, and I pretty much always have on black or gray. So it's kind of hard to be like, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm the black girl with the black shirt or the gray shirt. Like, that's just not, that's how I want to do it. So I've ordered these like mustard colored sweatshirts, and I will get my logo put on here and my number, my business number. That way my clients can easily identify me. And I ordered 2 of them. I'm using a local vendor for my printing. I was going to use like custom ink or one of those, but the minimum was like 12 sweatshirts. I don't need 12 sweatshirts. Even when I did it to like 6 sweatshirts, by the time you do shipping and everything, there was just too many pieces. So, yeah. So I'm going to have 2 sweatshirts, and I'm just going to start with that because, I don't run out that many times a day. So these 2 sweatshirts are going to get me through. Outside of that, I don't think there was anything else that happened that was significant between last time we chatted and now. But if there's something that you have a question about regarding how this weekend went, then drop a comment below. I am trying to stay on top of responding and getting answers for people. If you have a real question that I can get an answer to. And if I don't know, I have no shame in saying that I do not know, and that I will find out for you. So glad I can share this adventure with you. Sad that, every experience isn't something pleasant. But it's something that you guys should know, because these are real challenges when it comes to starting and running your notary business. So that's it for me today. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.